Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about how a dairy actually milks cows and how they make ice cream, like this delicious ice cream from Southern Craft Creamery, the exact dairy we actually went to. It's peach and it's delicious. Hello and welcome back to Farm Traveler. If you're new here, thanks for finding us on the internet. If you are a longtime subscriber, thanks for watching. So in this tour, we're gonna tour Southern Craft Creamery in Marianna, Florida, and see how they manage their cows, how they milk them, how they care for them, and then also how they make some really good ice cream in Marianna. You saw earlier, we've got the peach flavor. They have so many flavors and they're all delicious. So we're actually also gonna tour their creamery and figure out, what goes on behind the scenes, how they make their ice cream and all that good stuff. And I love doing tours like this because you get to learn a thing or two about the people that actually work on the farm, like Megan and Brad. So Megan is a veterinarian. She cares for the cows, told us so much information about the care and technology that goes into monitoring them and all that good stuff. And then Brad actually has his doctorate in physiology for beef and animal science. And I've emailed them just to make sure I got both of those right. Both clearly know what they're doing when it comes to managing a dairy. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Check out this full interview. I had like 2 hours of footage and I edited it down to like 30 minutes or whatever this is. So I really hope you enjoy it. It's gonna be so fun touring how they milk the cows, what the apparatuses are, how many times a day they milk them, what feed's like. And we also got to see a calf being born. That was wild. It was Allie's first time seeing a cow being born and it was perfect. We couldn't have planned it any better. So I hope you enjoy this tour. It's super fun. Had a good time. Enjoy it. Okay, now on with the tour. All right, we're here at Cindale Farms with Megan and Brad. Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for coming.
Yeah, so tell us about your dairy farm.
Yeah, so this is Cindale Farms. It was established by my parents, Dale and Cindy Eade, hence the name.
So we had on the podcast, yeah.
Yes, and that was on the podcast a few years ago with you, right? Mm-hmm. So they started this farm in 1994. Prior to that, my dad had been in the dairy industry over in Monticello, Florida. Okay. So he was a manager of a 2,000 cow herd. It was old Bassett's Dairy. And when that farm family decided to sell, my parents had to figure out what the heck they were going to do. Yeah. And they still really love dairying. And so they moved to this county and started renting existing dairy facilities until they could build up enough equity to build the facility that we're at today. Nice. So this facility was built in 2003 and we moved in, right, Brad? I'm checking with him because my dates get all mixed up. We moved in 2004. Okay. So it was run by my parents until Brad and I returned in late 2009. And then we co-managed for a few years. And then we had the crazy idea to start a creamery, which was started by my sister.
As if you weren't already busy enough.
Right.
Yeah. My
younger sister. She and her husband ran it for about a year and a half, and then he wanted to go back to flying helicopters, which is more exciting than making ice cream.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
And so they transitioned out of the creamery, and my parents moved over to day-to-day management there, and Brad and I took over full-time management here.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, that was about in 2015. So, so the farm encompasses right around 500 acres, just a few acres less than that, and then right around 500 total head, all the way from young stock up to aged adult milk cows. We are a little different than most Florida dairy farms. We don't have, although standing here behind me are some of them, we don't have a lot of Holsteins. So when Brad and I came back, we switched over to the little brown cows, so those are Jerseys.
Those are I always get Jersey and Guernsey confused.
Yep, so we have both actually. So these are Jerseys.
Okay.
So the big Holsteins belong to an employee of ours who's kind of in a management role with us, and so she had a herd of purebred Holsteins and Guernseys in Vermont. Okay. And so they moved down, a year and a half ago, roughly. So those big girls, those are Holsteins. That's the primary breed in the world, really. And most of the dairy farms in this country would be the black and white. I always tell kids they're the Chick-fil-A cows.
The Chick-fil-A cows.
Everybody knows what they are when I say that. And then at the end down there, that girl that's red and white, that's a Guernsey.
Okay.
So they're a little taller in stature, closer to the Holstein. Than, the Jerseys are pretty short.
Yeah. They are a lot shorter. Like
yes.
standing right next to
yes.
the Holstein.
Which is really nice for me as a female. I like working with them better.
Yeah. So how many gallons of milk are the cows producing per day?
So it depends on the breed of cow and their stage of lactation. But on average, dairy cows will produce anywhere from 6 to upwards of 11 gallons per cow per day. So your Holsteins are going to be on the upper end of that spectrum. Jerseys tend to be in that kind of 6, 7, 8 gallons per cow per day.
Okay.
Oh, he says, I'm coming through.
Oh,
buddy.
You got it. Oh, good job. Look at that.
Oh, man.
So this is our feeding and cooling barn. So this barn is split in half. We have this side, the cows on this side of the barn right now have already been milked. So they've been milked, they're out here, breakfast time, everybody's getting a bite to eat. We also have water troughs in there. They can get all the water they need. We have fans and misters in there, which, on a nice day like today with a good breeze, we don't need. The other side looks exactly like this side, feed on the outside. All those cows will be milked next. They're waiting their turn.
Gotcha. Okay.
And they'll go into the milking parlor, and when they're done, they'll come out. So the cows essentially have constant access to this barn when they're not being milked. They also have constant access to a field. We practice rotational grazing at this farm. So every day the cows are going to see a different field, and they can choose. They'll go out, graze a little, lay down, come back in, eat, just as they wish. Something about this barn, it's kind of the same with our milking parlor. At the very front of it, there's a big tank.
Yeah.
And what we do with that tank is we fill it with water, and that's how we clean this barn, is we use
water
to flush it all out.
Gotcha.
So it'll all flush down, it travels down, and there's a little channel. It goes down, and we have a separator, so the solid portion settles out.
Right.
The liquid portion goes through a weir, goes through a pipe, ends up in a lagoon, and that's the water that we use to irrigate.
Gotcha.
So all this field that you see back here is irrigated with water that we've used one time on.
So recycling.
We recycle everything. Cool. We're recycling the water, because anything that's used in the milk parlor to wash anything down, that all ends up in the lagoon. Flushing the barn, all that ends up down there, so we can use it again, and we can use it to irrigate.
Gotcha.
The feed, cows produce a lot of manure. That manure, the solid part settles out in the settling basin, in the solid separator, and then we take a tractor, when it's full, scoop it out, load it up, and we take it to the parts of the farm that don't get the liquid effluent.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we're adding our macronutrients, our micronutrients, our carbon. We're building our soils that way.
Right, yeah.
So we're going to add to places where I can't get those cows, but I can get a manure spreader, and I can get that out there and use that. So the only fertilizer that we buy on this farm is what you see right here in the barn.
It's not bad.
And feed is really expensive, so I want to feed the cows as efficiently as possible so they can get all the nutrients that they need. If cows get all the nutrients they need, they're happy and healthy. They're going to make high quality milk. That's our goal. And then once they've used that, I can use what's left over, the manure, to grow more grass for them.
And it's probably like the higher quality of the feed, not only the higher quality of milk, the higher quality of fertilizer you get too.
Yes.
That's a win-win.
So, our goal is the health of the cow first.
Gotcha.
If we can have the healthiest cow, then we can have the best quality product.
So I know that this is kind of a misconception sometimes, but if you have a sick cow, right, they're not milked, or the milk is collected separately, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this herd back behind us, if you can see grazing, or some are grazing, some are getting feed out of our feed bunks.
Yeah.
That is our hospital herd, or our pot herd.
Okay.
So all of the cows that you see out there are in there for a reason. That herd gets milked last.
Gotcha.
So we milk all of the milk herd cows, then we go out and we bring those cows in.
Okay.
So those cows get milked last because they need special attention.
Right.
So when those cows are brought in, when we do treat a cow for an illness with an antibiotic, all the antibiotics have withdrawal times.
Right.
That has been studied, and it says after so many hours, days, weeks, that antibiotic will no longer be present in the milk or meat from that animal.
Right, yeah.
We still have to milk the cow during that time, because if you stop milking a cow, she stops producing milk. So we continue to milk her, but when that herd comes in, we do not collect that milk. That milk gets dumped. So it never enters the human food chain, which is, a question we get asked a lot. oh, are you organic? And a lot of people assume we're organic because we create a product.
Mhm.
But I said, no, we're not organic. And we have these reasons why. But, and then people will say, well, what's the difference between organic milk and conventional milk? Say, organic, if you are an organic farm, if a cow gets sick and you treat it with an antibiotic, it must leave your farm. It can no longer be a part of your herd. Yes.
Okay.
So that's really difficult.
Yeah.
Meg is a vet, so we have the knowledge to utilize all the tools that we can put in our toolbox. With our daughter, if she gets sick and we go to the doctor and the doctor says, you need to give her this antibiotic, we're going to do that.
Okay.
We're not pumping her with antibiotics every day. These cows, we're not just pumping antibiotics into our cows, very selective in our use, but if I can heal an animal by giving them something, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, it's not like a one size fits all.
No. And for us, that's the way, like I said, animal health and comfort. And that is the way that we can manage our animals the best way that we can to provide the healthiest, happiest animal.
And I mean, you're testing your milk constantly, right?
Yes.
And so if by any chance a little bit of antibiotic residue is in the whole vat of milk, the whole thing gets dumped, right?
The whole thing will get dumped. So it will be tested here, it's tested at the plant, and then it can be tested, they will pull jugs off of shelves just to check and make sure things are still kosher.
And I mean, that sucks for y'all too, because if you have to dump it, that's money down the drain that you're literally not going to get. Like, that's in your best interest to make sure it's safe.
Also, we'll have to, if it made it onto a tanker truck,
Yeah.
we have to buy all the other milk on that tanker truck that's not ours. We have to pay to get the tanker truck cleaned out. And then there's potential for fines from the government because it's a violative food.
Oh, yeah.
So they can come in and say, hey, we need to go over your protocols and we can fine you for that.
So there's a lot of incentives to not have anything go wrong.
Yes.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Good explanation. That's good. These cows have personalities
she just,
like that.
Walk straight out of there. Yep.
Yeah.
We were laughing at 361. I told her, would you like a cow?
When you have a calf, she is a heifer up until the time that she has a calf. So everybody out here is pregnant. The cows and heifers. There are some steers out here though, like Aldo, which we raise steers. We grow them out and for personal consumption, part of payment for our employees, and then we retail beef out of our creamery.
Oh, we might have a good opportunity over here.
Where?
Nice calving that way.
Uh-oh.
Try to sneak up.
Well, you're going to see some calving.
So the everybody out here is pregnant and they will calve within the next, what's our furthest out? 6 months probably?
Oh, no. Well, there's just those 3 weeks out the other day. Everybody really is going to calve before the beginning of December.
Gotcha. Yeah, how long is the calving window? I was telling Allie about that earlier, like kind of the calving season.
So it depends on the farm. So we function more like a beef herd because we raise our calves the way we do. We have distinct seasons. So, right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing around and try to get that.
So they can fit on that side.
That heifer's gonna be in the way of the cow.
You see it? Hey, take some video.
We'll try to get up so
Let's
she's
try
still
to-
laying down and you guys can see on your side. 5 maybe already. Somewhere.
Right behind her.
Oh, there it is. Oh! So that one just calved this morning. Oh!
Yep. She's just chilling.
So for us, our calving season is September through early December, and then again in March and April. But that is farm specific. Most dairies will calve year round, so they're constantly calving.
Oh, okay.
For cash flow reasons, that's a lot easier. We like this kind of seasonality because we're a small farm and we can focus on certain things during certain times of the year.
Much more manageable.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Instead of having to worry with everything all the time. Like we have a distinct calving season, we have a distinct breeding season, so and summer's slower for us, so we can focus on fun things like repairing fences and mowing.
The necessities, the stuff you've got to do.
So cows, babies come out front feet first, so those are the front legs, and then right on top, which is hard to see because the placenta's over.
Yep, mama's cleaning.
Oh my god.
Look at that baby. Oh my goodness.
Thanks. How much did you grab?
1 or 2.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
I was too busy just trying to get it set. He's just like, hello.
Hello. Welcome to the world. Yeah.
But it's also responsible for milk letdown.
Oh, okay.
So having this very methodic routine in the parlor also allows for that for these girls. Allows that oxytocin release to then fill the teat-ins and help for quick milk letdown here in the parlor.
Okay. And they'll also like sometimes like jab the udder, right? Like with their nose,
Yes,
like,
yeah. Calves are pretty aggressive. They'll come up and really butt at them, and
I'm
like,
hungry.
and that all helps to kind of stimulate them to let down their milk. So we're doing that in a little bit different manner, but the touching and the wiping and all of that helps that too.
Yeah.
And then once he's done wiping, he's gonna come back and attach them. So the milking machines themselves, you guys can see the milk flowing down into the kind of the bowl of the milking unit, but there's a vacuum applied to the milking machine and then a high-low pressure, which simulates that of a calf nursing. So some of our girls only are productive in 3 out of their 4 quarters.
Okay.
So a cow has an udder and with 4 compartments. You can go ahead, Lester. With 4 compartments, and sometimes one of those compartments is not functioning, and they don't cross communicate, so they're their own distinct section. So this, and I don't remember, she's so old, I don't remember what happened with her left front. I don't remember if it was bad case of mastitis or if she had an injury, but sometimes they're not functioning 1 quarter, and so there would be a 3-quarter cow, which is why he has that little milking cup flip back and a rag in it, because it's not actually getting milk. A normal cow would have all 4 functioning like this. But I'll kind of explain. So this portion is a rubber inflation. This is the only portion that actually touches the cow's body. And then this outside canister, so the rubber inflation runs all the way through, and this is the other side of it. Between the inside rubber inflation and this outside canister is a high-low pressure applied, and that's what I was saying, there's a vacuum and then that pressure, and that allows for that rubber liner to kind of I don't know how to describe that, but suck in and out.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just like a calf nursing. So it's gonna flow down as the milk comes out, down into the bulb, down through this pipe, through a stainless steel pipe, and then up through an inline filter. We filter the milk in case there was any hair or debris that might be in it, and then it's going to flow up over our heads into the milk tank in the milk room, where it's cooled and stored until we either use it for the creamery or our milk marketing co-op comes and picks it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
So essentially Monday, Wednesday, Friday we milk twice a day, so it's 7 and 7. Tuesdays, Thursdays we milk once a day, right around noon time.
Yeah.
Weekends in New Zealand, it's like a rolling schedule. Every other day is like that, but we need stability here.
Oh, yeah.
So for us, we made it so Saturday and Sunday we could flip flop and kind of make it however needed to be for our employees and our schedule. So Saturday, Sunday are kind of back and forth, either a single or a double. But a Saturday is either that has to have both of them on a weekend, a single and a double, to make the week work right.
Gotcha. I interviewed a dairy farm in, where was it, Pittsburgh, I think, and they have only like 20 head of cattle.
Yeah.
But they train them to where they only milk once a day.
Yep.
And so it's cool that they can like learn to adjust to that schedule.
Yep. They're, obviously if you're milking less, your production is going to decrease. Because that stimulation is going to increase production to a certain level. So if you're milking 3 times a day, you're going to get a little uptick in production from twice a day. If you're milking 3 times in 2 days, you're going to get a little less than milking twice a day. And we knew that, but it was offset by less electrical requirements, less supplies, like T-dip. So there was some offsets there, and we like the flexibility. It allows for us on those days where it's once a day. As a small farm, we can get in the morning and like change out inflations, because these things wear out and we have to change them. And that's something that we would always have to wait till the end of the milking shift and hurry and get done before we picked up our daughter. But now it's just more flexibility for us. So we have enjoyed it. So those are the 2 kind of oddball things for us as a farm: the calf rearing on moms, and then our weird milking schedule.
So they produce enough milk for their calf and to be?
Yeah. So the calves typically, now I don't have monitoring systems, but I know what we were feeding them when we were delivering milk, and we kind of have a nice rough idea on total production and which cows are nursing calves. they're going to consume around 2 to 3 gallons per day per calf.
Okay.
So, you know, and those girls that are lower producers obviously aren't going to have as much for us, but there's still plenty for us to take more than what the calf needs. Yep.
Yeah, and you can really see how the udder's like.
Yeah. And
So they
now,
need-
and it will vary a little bit. If
Yeah,
you've got a cow that has just had a calf, there's going to be some edema, swelling there, so it's not going to suck down like that quite as much. And then some girls, just like humans, people are always like, wow, that one's so big. Like, no, we all have different, we're all made of different sizes, and some of them just have more mammary tissue.
Okay, yeah.
So we'll still look fuller than, like, say, this girl afterwards. And then some of them shrink down, they just don't have a lot of mammary tissue there. And so they look deflated. But yeah, you can, if you see them come in to begin with, they will, unless they're really, really fresh and got a lot of swelling, you will see a distinct difference afterwards.
Okay.
Anything more questions? Anything I missed? It would be disgusting.
Can we look back?
Oh yeah, right down here. I'll do those two. Are you gonna milk too, Trevor?
Sure, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I'll get you 2 good ones.
Lester, I promise we're not coming for your job. I'm sure you have it down to a science.
He does.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
That's good.
Alright, so you want to do this one? So I'll explain it and then kind of show you. So you're right-handed? Left-handed. Okay. So you will hold the milking unit in your left hand and kind of let it flop open like a crazy crab. And then you'll hit attach, detach, now turn the vacuum on. The first 2 are going to go to the front seat. And you can kind of, whatever's easiest directional for you, you can hang how you like. So start with that one and this one or the other way, and then these are the back. Okay? So hold with your left hand, yep. And then push your attach, detach. There you go. And let this hand come up just a little bit later. Perfect.
Look at that.
Bravo,
Get it.
bravo. Cool, you're a pro. All right, your
Milking
turn.
engineer.
All right, Trevor, you want me to go over it again with you? You got it.
This one? Or
Yep,
this one?
this one. So you hold under with your, you right-handed as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Under that and then push attach. And then you'll have to like kick it through, yep.
Hey, Mama. How you doing? Oh, sorry. There you go.
They're born without the ability to grow horn because they have a cold gene. So they've started breeding that into dairy sires.
Yeah.
And so we try to use them. So this little girl didn't have horn buds. We trimmed to make sure, but
Oh,
we didn't
gotcha.
have to deep. Start the way the milk's closed. So, milk will start in this room. This is our very tiny, very compact raw room. So
Okay.
these are 2 30-gallon batch pasteurizers.
Okay.
So you can see how when I say it's not set up for the milk processing. It's
Yeah.
very small scale, tiny. So I do all our milk through here on Mondays when we're closed. They're still running ice cream, but I can get in here when they're like not as busy and run my milk.
So pasteurizing, you're heating it up really quick to kill off anything that might be
Yep.
right.
So there's minimum temperature requirements for the type of pasteurization that you're doing. So for milk, batch pasteurized, it has to be 145 degrees for 30 minutes. That's non-flavored milks. If you add sugar, you got to up the temperature. And then ice cream, because it has sugar added, it's going to be a little bit higher temperature at 30 minutes. And so this whole setup is all the equipment that goes on the pasteurizer. It's just a big vat. And it's got a lining around it. So this sits inside of this outside canister, and then you can fill that with water. And these are interesting. They've just got 2 giant hot water heating elements that heat the water, that heats the milk.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. And then this is kind of like the main dashboard. So there'll be a chart in here, and this is records all the temperature and time and everything. And then you can set your temperature, your water temperature, and then your airspace temperature.
Gotcha.
And this is just a little agitator that hooks up and stirs the milk
slowly.
or the ice cream. So when we're doing ice cream, everything starts in here as well, because we don't buy a base. We make everything in-house.
Okay.
So we're making the ice cream from scratch. Depends on what flavor we're doing as to whether the whole batch is pasteurized or if the add-ins are cooked in the kitchen and then added afterwards. But some of the flavors go through the whole process starting here, and then some are added in after. After it's pasteurized, then we hook up a hose that goes through the window and then back out the door here to these cooling or heat. So these guys are just sitting in a glycol bath. So they're just floating in here. So we'll fill, and this milk or ice cream gets done the same way. They get pumped into here to chill. And then once obviously these get full, they're going to sit down onto this structure. And then same thing, they're going to have a temperature probe, a thermometer, and an agitator to keep it stirred. And then the milk have to get chilled to under 45 degrees in order to bottle. And then ice cream will typically sit here and kind of age or meld flavors overnight and then get churned the next morning. So we've got 4 of those, and they're all empty right now. And then same thing on the ends, we got chart recorders to know exactly what temperature, what time it was at what temperature.
That looks like a seismograph.
Yeah, it does kind of, doesn't it? So that's
so
the same
cool.
readings that are in the back.
Okay, I gotcha.
And then poured into our ice cream maker churner. This is an Emery Thompson. They're actually made in Florida. One of the very few even made in the U.S.
Oh, wow.
Most of them come from Italy. This one, I think it's Brooksville. I'm probably going to be wrong. Somewhere, Central Florida area. It functions very similar to your homemade ice cream maker. It's disassembled right now because they just finished cleaning. But it has dashers that scrape the frozen product off the outside wall. So this is all kind of a freezer or refrigeration unit. And the only thing that's going to be freezing is the outside wall, and then it's just going to continuously incorporate that into the product. Time, it takes roughly, depending on the ice cream that we're making, 13 to, I think the highest, which is some of your salty ice creams, would be 16 to 17 minutes. And then it comes out in a sort of soft serve consistency. So it's going to be pinted or panned and then put into a hard chiller or blast freezer to really solidify the product.
Are you recording? Joke's on Allie because I'm lactose intolerant. We have an hour ride home.
This is what we always start with. That's sweet cream,
Sweet cream? Okay.
milk, cream, and sugar. It doesn't have any
The
flavors.
basics. That's all you need.
Yeah. And it's pretty much the base for I don't think
Very
so.
sweet.
Yeah, it's the base for
Pretty much
everything's
everything?
pretty much made off of it.
Okay.
This one is vanilla.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
This is why I don't work in this part.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, so good.
What, sweet cream? Vanilla?
Sweet cream.
Okay.
Sweet cream is my favorite.
This is the roasted banana.
Roasted banana. Okay, I'm gonna say something bold. I love Bluebell. Sweet cream is light years better than Bluebell. Sweet cream is so good. That's my favorite part.
I got sweet.
Sweet potato. Oh.
Oh, it's sweet potato praline. I don't think I got you pecans, but it does have pecans.
All right.
What's your favorite flavor?
One we don't have out right now. There's
Okay.
an espresso almond chocolate chip.
Okay.
Oh, it is back out.
Thumbs up if you got ready. Give her back. Here's your wallet. I'll buy a snack for
I
you.
mean, give him this for you give him that salty stuff.
Which one's this?
That's the espresso almond chocolate
Oh.
chip. That's the one I like.
That's your favorite? What's your favorite?
It depends on what I'm eating. I love the espresso almond chocolate chip. This one is interesting. This is guava peach. So there's a fellow that came in that wanted a guava ice cream, and he brought guava paste so they would make it. It's salty, so be prepared. It's a buttermilk ice cream with a salty guava swirl.
The espresso one? Really good.
It is interesting.
Oh. Sweet cream, espresso, strawberry, peach, dark chocolate.
Man,
Top
those are
five.
5 good ones.
These are really good. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.
All right, we just had some ice cream. Thank you, Megan.
Yes, thank
It was
you.
delicious. If people are in Marianna, where can they go for the creamery? Also, if they want to go tour, what all can they do
Yeah.
to follow y'all?
Yep, so they can follow us on Instagram or Facebook. We also have a website, southerncraftcreamery.com. You can either call us directly and schedule a tour, or you can email us. We are here at 2884 Jefferson Street in downtown Marianna, Florida.
Sweet. Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, thanks for coming.
It was a blast. All right, cool. So yeah, the tour was great. Thanks so much for watching. We've got more tours coming up, including hopefully, possibly, maybe, definitely a tour of an oyster farm here in Florida and a bunch of other stuff. So don't forget, subscribe if you're new here. Hit the like button down below. Comment, let me know what you liked of this tour, what you didn't like. What are some things or some tours down the road you would like us to do? So yeah, cool. Thanks for watching. See you later.